Dear students, we will do a new module, Income Tax Authorities Part 4. This is our module 104. Now, let us see two types of officials we are taking in this. One is Joint Directors of Income Tax, Joint Commissioners of Income Tax or Joint Commissioners of Income Tax Appeals. So, first you have to remember their income tax authorities. These are the positions assigned to them under section 116 of the Income Tax Act, and they are recognized under the Income Tax Act 1961. These are the positions assigned to them by the income tax authorities. Now what is their position? They hold the mid-level position between Additional Commissioners of Income Tax, Deputy Commissioners of Income Tax and Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax. What is their role? They are to supervise, guide and control assessment proceedings. Now what is the role-wise classification? So role-wise classification, Joint Director of Income Tax, short form is JDIT. The works in specialized departments related to investigation, international trade, etc. Now what is Joint Commissioner of Income Tax? JCIT is the short form, supervises assessment and administrative functions. Now Joint Commissioner Appeals handles appellate functions in assigned cases. So these cases when they referred as appeals to them, so they will look into, study the case and they will take an appropriate action. Now what are the supervisory powers of these officials? Exercise control and supervision over assessing officers. See, assessing officers are getting in touch with the general public. We cannot meet the higher officials. So assessing officers, how they are doing, they are treating their taxpayers properly. All this they can supervise. Now ensure assessments are carried out properly and in accordance with the law. They are not taking any bribe. They are doing as per the powers given to them and they are acting in the true spirit and correct information they are collecting, and they are making everybody, encouraging them to pay the tax on time. Now directors to assessing officer. So here section 114A is giving their powers. One is they can issue binding directions to the assessing officer. Binding means the assessing officers have to follow that. So on their own motion, that meaning acting on their own initiative. Whatever they feel right, they can give the binding order to assessing officers. Then on reference by the assessing officer or on application by the assessee. Otherwise, it may be coming as a request from the assessee to look into the matter by the assessing officer or referred by another assessing officer. So any of this case, he can issue binding orders to assessing officers. Now directions are given to ensure fair and proper assessment. Fair and proper assessment is compulsory or it's needed because everybody, the idea of income tax is we can earn income but our duty to pay tax on time. And approval powers, prior approval of Joint Commissioner of Income Tax is required in certain cases such as reopening of assessments. This is mentioned under section 151 of the Income Tax Act, or passing certain assessment orders. See what they have to take the response, they have to take the approval from Joint Commissioner of Income Tax. They cannot take on their own decision. They can recommend this and finally Joint Commissioner of Income Tax will take an appropriate action. They can also act as control mechanism to prevent arbitrary decisions. See, if one person is involved, they may take some bribe or they may take their own individual decisions. So that is not possible. That is why it's always a higher official is involved in the process. Now assessment process, assessment powers. So in some cases may be assigned the role of assessing officer and perform assessments directly. In certain cases they feel that they have to get involved along with the assessment officer. Assessing, then they are also getting involved. Now investigative functions, they are involved in search and seizure operations, that is confiscate things. Collection of information regarding tax evasion. So tax evasion, if they doubt that, they have the right to call for information, they can inspect, they can enter their premises, they can collect information on oath, all that they can do. Now what is quasi-judicial role? While issuing directions or granting approvals, they act in a quasi-judicial capacity. They must ensure natural justice and fairness. See, just like the legal system, whatever the judiciary will take that appropriate action, like that here also the income tax authorities should take. Now we are coming to the next category of this module, Directors of Income Tax, Commissioners of Income Tax and Commissioners of Income Tax Appeals. So three topics we are explaining. Directors of Income Tax, short form is DIT. Next is Commissioners of Income Tax, short form is CIT. Then Commissioners of Income Tax Appeals, short form is CIT within bracket A. Now first we will look at the Directors of Income Tax. Directors of Income Tax, they are the senior administrative authorities mentioned under section 116 of the Income Tax Act 1961. They handle specialized functions such as investigation and intelligence, international taxation, systems and training, training the income tax authorities, training the income tax officials. All this they will take care. Now powers of Directors of Income Tax. Key powers and functions: supervise and control tax administration, whether what is designed by CBDT is carried out by the officials. Exercise assessing officers' powers whenever authorized. If assessing officers deviating from their position or they are deviating from their duties, responsibilities, these officials can take action on assessing officer. Conduct search and seizure, that is investigation wing is there. If they doubt that they have not revealed the correct income, they can call for information, they can search their premises, all that they can do. Issue instructions and ensure law compliance. They see that the Income Tax Act is followed. Whatever function, whatever designed by the CBDT or Finance Department, Finance Minister, it's followed by the income tax authorities. Now handle tax evasion and undisclosed income. So again and again we are mentioning about tax evasion and undisclosed income because heavy penalty will be there. It's not an advisable thing. As a dutiful citizen, you have to give the complete information, correct information while filing the tax returns. Now second category, Commissioners of Income Tax, short form is CIT. Senior officials under the Income Tax Department, responsible for administration and supervision and oversees income tax assessments within their jurisdiction. Zone-wise jurisdiction or district-wise jurisdiction, wherever cases they have to specially look into, they will look that. Now powers of Commissioners of Income Tax. Supervisory powers: oversee assessment officers and ensure proper procedures. Now revisionary powers. This is given under section 263 of the Income Tax Act. Revise incorrect and revenue loss orders. So if they have not disclosed the correct income, they can check that, they can ask them for additional payment. Approval, sanction, deductions, exemptions and special cases. If they need special cases, additional deductions they have to claim. All that they can take action. Transfer, this is given under section 127 of the Income Tax Act. Shift cases between assessing officers. Now what is administrative control? Ensure efficiency and discipline in the Income Tax Department. The third category is the Commissioners of Income Tax for Appeal, CIT within bracket A. This is a quasi-judicial authority that hears appeals filed by taxpayers against orders passed by assessing officers. Now what are their powers of Commissioners of Income Tax Appeals? They have appellate powers. They hear appeals against assessment orders. If a taxpayer is not happy with the information they received from Income Tax Department for paying more tax or saying that they have not disclosed their correct income, they have the power to appeal to these officers. Now confirm, reduce, enhance or annual assessment. They will look into the case and they will take an appropriate action. Now call for records from assessing officers. If they feel that they have to collect the information from assessing officers to study or investigate one case, they have the right to do that. Grant relief if they are justified with the decision. Now ensure natural justice. Hear both sides before taking a final action. Hear from the assessing officer and hear from the taxpayer. Now I am giving a comparative statement. 3 roles: Director of Income Tax, Commissioner of Income Tax and Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals. So the role is Director of Income Tax, it's specialized administration. Whereas Commissioner of Income Tax, it's generalized administration. Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, appeal handling. Those who are appealing for authorities, appealing to the authorities for look into their matter and take an appropriate action. Then only Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals role will come into picture. Now nature, Director of Income Tax is administrative. Commissioner of Income Tax is also administrative. But Commissioner of Income Tax Appellate Authority is quasi-judicial. Judicial powers also they have. Semi-judicial powers. Now what is the key power? Director of Income Tax, he has the power to investigate and search. Search the premises, search the information, search the residence, anything. Commissioner of Income Tax, revision. Revision for more tax or less tax, exemptions, deductions, all that. This is given under section 263. Revision powers Commissioner of Income Tax got. Now Commissioner of Income Tax appeals, they can decide on the appeals. Appeals given by the taxpayers. So this is what I wanted to explain in this module. Happy learning. Thank you.